Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about solving inequalities when there's multi-step. And remember from before that the basic rule is you do it exactly the same way as you do equalities, with the exception if you multiply or divide by, and that's the key word, a negative. And that means when we're doing it to both sides of the inequality symbol. Okay, so here's an example of a complex problem, a complex inequality that you'd have to solve. So we could have something like this. Let's say 3, 2x plus 5 minus 10x greater than 15. No idea what the answer is. I just made this up. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of numbers we get here. So we get to solve this whole thing, and we're going to treat it just like we did it with equalities, with the one exception is if we ever, as we're solving this, multiply or divide both sides by a negative, we're going to switch this inequality symbol. So when I take a look at this, first thing I see is parentheses, and according to PEMDAS, we deal with parentheses first. I'm not allowed to do 2x plus 5 because these are unlike terms, so what we have to do is use the distributive property. So we're going to distribute the 3. So we get 3 times 2 is 6x, 3 times 5 is 15. This negative 10 had nothing to do with x, so we're just write negative 10x. We still have the greater than symbol. It had nothing to do with anything over here, so we're never going to change it. And we got the 15 on the other side. Again, it had nothing to do with the distributive property, so we'll just leave it alone. The next thing over here is we're going to combine like terms. I have 2 of them. We do 6x minus 10x, and you get negative 4x. The 15 had nothing to do with that. The inequality had nothing to do with that, and the other 15 had nothing to do with that. So those all stayed the same. But we did end up doing combining like terms. Now we're back down to a two-step equation. We would move the 15 to both sides, so we're going to subtract 15 from both sides. And when you add or subtract, the inequality never changes. It only changes when you're multiplying or dividing. So again, we don't have to worry about it. So we get negative 4x, symbol staying the same, and you end up with 0. The last thing we got to do is divide both sides by negative 4. Now here's where we're dividing. As soon as you say divide, you got to stop and think. Did we divide or multiply by a negative? In this case, we're dividing by negative 4, so we will switch the symbol around. On the left, you get x, and on the right, you end up with negative 4. So our answer is x is less than negative 4. Okay? So quick reminder, if you're using the distributive property, symbol never changes. Combining like term, symbol never changes. Adding and subtracting to both sides, symbol never changes. Multiplying or dividing, yes, if you are multiplying, dividing by a negative, switch the symbol around. All right, I hope that's helpful to you. If you have any questions, make sure you ask.